Hey, you VIP Kid teachers, especially you new teachers out there, pay attention to this video because it has lots of great information on how to improve your camera presence teaching here online. This is actually in response to a post that came through the Hutong, and the title of that post was Tips for Better Online Teaching Camera Presence. So this post is actually to go along with the written post, where I realized, hey, a picture's worth 1,000 words. If I try to type all this out, I can never get my point across. So today I'm making a video that will give you some examples of each dimension that I point out. There's 3 of them: distance, framing, position, and then I'll give you a special bonus tip at the end that will really take your camera presence to the next level. So the first one, when it comes to distance, you really should play with what you have available. You can do a close-up, sometimes all the way up to your eyeball. That can be a lot of fun. And of course, you want to be able to expand and take advantage of the space that you have. This means being able to back up as much as you can so that they can see more of your body. This is very important. Okay, there's the second piece, which is the framing. You don't necessarily always need to stay square in the shot like this the whole time, like a talking head. Much more interesting to explore your options. You might be off to the one side here. In fact, in photography, there's the rule of thirds, where you have basically 4 points in your frame that make your composition of the shot more attractive. And so they're about right here, 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 and here. So if you draw 3 lines vertically, or you separate your frame into thirds vertically and then horizontally, you'll find those 4 intersections are actually some of the best places to stay, to have your subject in your shot. So you might be off center sometimes. You might even consider being cut off a little bit. Some students really enjoy that you're kind of peeking out and see what's going on. You can always kind of cut off the top of your head. Every once in a while you might just want to have your eyes peeking over, something like this. So that's a really fun element to play with that can make your presentation more dynamic. And then when it comes to position, this, I suppose, we can differentiate from framing in that we can change our body position a little bit more, like rotating our shoulders. In fact, if you ever bring in a friend on camera, you're going to want to turn towards your friend a little bit more to create more this sense of there's a dialogue between you. And then when you go back and turn towards the student, it just makes it a little bit more interesting, more dynamic, more real. So you can be rotating your shoulders. In fact, if you're ever drawing during class, then this becomes really important, that you rotate your shoulders so that you can be 90 degrees to the student. I can still see the student. I can see my whiteboard as well. And so when I draw my chicken or whatever I'm trying to draw in front of the student, they can see not only me, but they can see the drawing as well. And I can still see them just by simply moving my head. I don't have to worry about drawing backwards, anything like this. It's just like a regular whiteboard at that point by rotating my shoulders. And for one of my favorite things to do is to actually get the student to scare me. So I might encourage them to act like a lion. Rawr! At which point I'm actually going to get scared away. So I'll back up, I'll rotate, and I'll start running away. And then back to the framing idea, I won't come back all the way. I might just start peeking back in and see what's going on. These are some things, when you start to mix them together, look at the presence that you have now. So through your distance, your framing, your position, you might consider your angle to the camera as well. It's good to have it at eye level, but every once in a while you might consider going to a lower angle. What happens when you do this, especially with a prop, it will make whatever you're holding seem more exciting, more awe-inspiring, right? If I just say, okay, here's my microphone, I keep it down here, it's not as interesting as if I get the microphone really close, and then I can change my angle and look up at the microphone like it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Oh, you see? So it's through our distance, backing up so they can see our body language when we're at the back of our camera. It's very important in communication, language learning, to have body language involved. They need to see your shoulders and your arms, so you can be doing this thing. And notice here with the framing, I'm not staying center. I'm framing here. I'm rotating my body. I'm looking at them. And with that, look at the dynamics we now have. So bringing the distance back, framing off center, rotating body, letting them see my body language. And then when I ask them the question, I lean in. Notice I'm looking at the camera. So by just changing all of these different dynamics, we can make a really captivating presentation. If you're going to show them an apple, for example, don't just bring the apple to the same position as you. Get the apple close to the camera so they can really see it and appreciate it. And remember that trick about the angle. You can always look up on the apple, get closer and further in. And then when you ask them a question, you might lean in like this. When you're going to demonstrate pronunciation, get really close like this. So the secret is to really feel the two exaggerated ends of the spectrum and distance, playing with the framing, playing with the position. And I promised there was going to be one more bonus tip, and that is remember that we have a magical camera. Meaning it doesn't have to just be about sight. These kids are fantastic with their imagination. You can use all your senses through the camera. So don't just show them the apple. What can you do? Demonstrate for them that they should take a bite out of the apple. And then you go ahead and hold it up for them, wave them on in, and encourage them to do the same. If it's something more fragrant, like the feet of one of your animals, you can smell it, encourage them to smell as well. Or for their flowers, something like this. Taste, smell, touch. So if you're giving them some high fives, bam, 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 ba-da, yay, boom, you might get hit on the head as well. So remember, we have a magical camera. This camera is a portal. So we need to stop paying attention so much down here at the screen. It's hard to do, and you need to be able to navigate things. But you want to try as much as you can to lift your gaze up so you can look the student in the eye, and that is camera presence. I hope you enjoyed this example. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, happy teaching. Bye-bye.